ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Walking with J.Beau, an almost daily walking vlog. Today is October 28th. We got a lot of stuff going on in the world today. We have a lot of stuff going on with elections. Happy Monday to those that celebrate. And so I'm going to walk on up this way. Doing construction. Hey. We're going to walk up this way. Finally filling in that layer of pavement here, which is good because there was a lip in the road here that if you didn't stop in time, you'd hit it pretty hard, even though they spray painted it a fluorescent pink so you could see it.
Awesome. How'd you do those? Like here?
Kind of like this. Kind of a lip that they're filling in. So I hope everybody is having a good almost November. We have Halloween coming up. 3 days. We're supposed to have historically warm temperatures between now and then, even though today the high is only in the 40s. Rather chilly today. Crazy weather. Anyway, we're going to have that, and we're going to have the election coming up next Tuesday. 8 days. We're about a week away. I think the reality is starting to set in now that Republicans are going to win big across the country. Nobody's talking about a red wave. And the Democrats aren't talking about a blue wave. But the Republicans are going to win, and I'm glad they're not talking about a red wave, because I hate it when people do that. We are going to do well, though. So this should be good. You can see them putting new asphalt down. And it is going to be an interesting election cycle because I think it's going to be a very bad day for Democrats and woke politics. Hi. I think they're finally going to realize that Americans are not going to go along with that stuff. And that mutilating children through school indoctrination is not selling well with the public, and it's not helping the Democrats. It's not. Polling shows that. They're not doing well. And you're always going to have your homer that's going to deny anything's wrong. They're always going to defend their team. And they'll be like those people that... Hi.
Hello.
How are you? There will always be like those people that will blame the referees when their team loses, because their team couldn't possibly lose. Couldn't have. Well, good news is Donald Trump has unleashed a secret sauce, it's being called. Nobody knows what the secret is yet. He's doing something different with his campaign than has ever been done in the past. Nobody seems to know what it is, and they can't explain the early voting turnout by Republicans. So the early voting is record-setting. Now, the other good news I have is the Democrats passed legislation in 2022. It was on the ballot for voters to choose. Okay, this was not done by a Secretary of State that hates Republicans. It's a ballot initiative that got on the ballot. Let me flip this around. So they got this. Hi, everybody. As you can see, I'm dressed warmer today. Feels pretty good in the sunshine. I'm very thankful that's out today. But as you can tell, it's still a little breezy. So if you hear wind on the camera, that is the sound canceling, wind cancel. That sometimes gives like a kind of robotic digital noise. So if you hear that, you'll know what that is. Anyway, Michigan passed in 2022 that for mail-in ballots, absentee ballots, and things like that, that Michigan will start counting the ballots as soon as they come in. They will start counting who voted for Trump, who didn't, who voted for Kamala. Now, the controversy with that seems to be people don't trust the elections. If they open all the ballots and they know Trump is really winning, are they going to leak that information out so cheating ballots can be put in place, dropped off in the middle of the night, that sort of thing? I don't have the answer to that. But I do know that the Trump campaign is very well aware of the law in Michigan. So is everybody else. And personally, I don't like it. But it is what it is. With that being said, Michigan Secretary of State, and this is important to kind of dispel that, they have promised that people will know who won the election by 1 a.m. They're going to have everything counted. Plus, they said the turnout is nowhere near as big as 2020 because of COVID. So ballots will be counted ahead of time. What are the pluses of that? Okay, well, I'll list a few positives. One of the positives is they're not in a hurry to count ballots. There's more time to verify signatures. There's more time to validate signatures and things like that. So consequently, that also gives them more time to cheat and falsify that stuff, or more time to go talk to a supervisor that's working there and say, I'm not sure about this ballot. And the person just says, well, they see that it was a vote for Trump, discard it, it's a bad ballot. So there's more time for that as well. The good news is there will be Republicans working in Michigan at the election. So we will have people watching. we will have people actually participating in the counting, because this is something that citizens generally, for the most part, are entrusted to do. And let's just say some citizens don't have the same integrity as others. So we're going to have this election. We're going to know the results in Michigan at 1 a.m. and if they're in favor of Trump, and Trump has won Georgia and North Carolina, that means Trump won the election. So I want to be clear on that. If things go the way they are now, with Trump winning Arizona, which looks like he's going to, he's got a pretty decent lead there now this time, and enough to circumvent cheating, I guess is my point. He's got a big enough lead in Georgia also to circumvent cheating, and he's got a pretty decent lead in North Carolina. And keep in mind, hey, how are you? Pretty good. So, I don't know what that was all about. Some guy I don't know going, hey, like he's known me for years. Maybe because he saw him walking with a camera, he wants to be on camera. I don't know, but that was weird. Anyway, what I was saying is the lead in Georgia and North Carolina is big enough where it should be, well, I gotta be careful what words I use, so I'm not gonna jinx anything. So basically, if those 3 states in the Sun Belt pan out, he needs just one of the Great Lakes states. Just one. The thing for Kamala is she needs all 4. Trump only needs 1 to get to 270. So that's why Pennsylvania is so big. Because mathematically, if Kamala does not win Arizona, Georgia, or North Carolina, she cannot lose Pennsylvania or she lost. Period. That's just the way the electoral votes come out. And even if she were to win North Carolina and steal that somehow, if Trump wins Pennsylvania, she loses. If Trump wins, let's say Trump loses Pennsylvania and North Carolina. Uh-oh, right? Well, Trump still has a kick at the cat with Michigan and Wisconsin. Now Biden, okay, the reason why I'm mentioning that is when we went into the election in 2020, Biden had a 7-point lead nationally, 607, and he barely won Wisconsin. They don't know how to poll for Trump in Wisconsin, and I believe there was some shenanigans in Wisconsin, and it helped Biden just enough, but it was close to begin with, is my point. If it's a close election, they can rig it. If he has a state where they underestimated him by 5 points, and we go into the election with him leading by 2, which is actually 7 points, Trump will win that state. He'll win it. They can't cheat enough yet. And that's why I mentioned Michigan. Michigan is, because they changed their laws, they will have to give the results. And because voters wanted to know who won the election on election day. That was what pushed that ballot initiative. And they said, okay, well, just start counting the ballots early if that's the case. So that's what they're doing. Assuming everybody's going to be honest. Wink, wink. So with that, that's what we got going on for that. And that's going to make it interesting because we've not seen that with Michigan yet. We'll see how that works. And but again, I want to reiterate that that was chosen by voters democratically. I don't know what that measure passed by. I have no idea. But I do know, as we look at the Halloween decor behind me, but I do know that we're going to know who won Michigan one way or the other on election night. Now, the other nugget to nibble on is that nobody has won Pennsylvania and not won Michigan too in over 50 years. They go together. It's been like that, whether the Republicans or Democrats win. That just has always happened. So when Trump won in 2016, he won both of those states against Hillary, because the Democrats had always won those states. So basically, with the exception of Donald Trump, the Democrats have always won Pennsylvania and Michigan, except for the 2016 election, and then you have to go back to George Bush, 2004, I think. So I'm just throwing this out there, food for thought, so you understand the whole, without any bias. So if on election night they're still counting in Pennsylvania and Trump lost Michigan, chances are he's going to lose Pennsylvania too. And I'm just being honest with you. Whether they cheat or not, it really doesn't matter. You cannot do a recount in Pennsylvania. Their rules have made it almost impossible. And that's just how that is. Can't do anything about it. So that would be a disaster. So basically what I'm saying is if they announce that Trump loses Michigan, pretty much they're going to be able to do all the cheating they want in Pennsylvania, and nobody's going to doubt it, because they're going to say, well, the people just didn't want Trump. They're tired of him, and so that's all I want to say about that. So anyway, the good news is they can only cheat so much. And the bad news is they'll know how much they have to cheat, because they're counting ballots already in Michigan. They're counting them now. So they're already getting an idea. Now, who has that information? Well, Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, absolutely hates Trump, considers him a threat. She's in tight with Kamala and her campaign. And 2 plus 2, combined with the fact that Democrats are dishonest as hell, you know the information that Trump is winning is going to be leaked. So that is the danger we have with that. We need to be honest about it. The good news is Trump can still win if he loses Pennsylvania and Michigan. Okay, that's how good a spot he's in. They would have to do some absolutely historic level cheating we've never seen before, and they would get caught doing it, because they would have to do so much of it that I think they would get caught. And that's why I was telling you yesterday to pray for election cheating to be revealed before the election. That would be a literal godsend. So Lord Jesus Christ, God Almighty, reveal the cheating. We need to see it. People need to see it and know it's happening, and not have it be a conspiracy, because the media is going to say it's a conspiracy. Oh, they still have the Trump sign. It's just laying down. I didn't see that yesterday. So anyway, that's the Trump side that says, please don't vote for Trump. I think it blew over in the wind. So I'm gonna head down this way. I gotta get out of the way so I don't get run over. Get a little bit of Halloween decor here. Some pumpkins. Somebody's cooking something good. I smell something getting grilled. So, wow, you know, what does this all mean for the election? It means we have a lot of stuff we're going to have to sort through. And I'm telling you, the Trump campaign believes they have a legit shot at one of the biggest landslides we've seen. They feel really good. And how do I know this? Well, we're coming down towards election day. Trump has rallies scheduled every day. And the significance of that is where he has them scheduled. Which, by the way, I hope you caught Trump's Madison Square Garden rally yesterday. That was one for the history books. It was packed. And what was amazing about it too is that we had on Trump's website for events, he's going to do a rally. Get this, he's going to do a rally in Virginia. Hi. So he's going to do a rally in Virginia, and that was solid 13 points in favor of Biden before the debate. Now Trump with this is in within 4 or 5 points. Very possible that, you know, because the Trump campaign knows that Trump is always underestimated by at least 5 points. That's why I told you early on to play it safe and maybe hedge 3 points out of that 5. You know, to be fair, because that's what they do. They've been doing that since he's been running. So I see no reason that they've changed it. So anyway, with that, try to strew some leaves here. With that, we're seeing him threaten Virginia now. Can you imagine? And Virginia elected Glenn Youngkin, a Republican, and he was elected by basically the suburban white women tired of what they were doing in schools with this woke stuff. So Virginia is about ready to flip red, and I really hope Trump does that, because it would solve a lot of things. One, wait till this truck goes by. They use paper ballots in Virginia. There's no electronic voting. You're going to know who won Virginia on election night. So if Trump wins that, then he doesn't need Pennsylvania. Right? That is how big that is. Because all of this push for Pennsylvania, Michigan, and all those states are because if Trump wins one of those, he wins the election. If he wins Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina. So, right now, Donald Trump, in my opinion, this is my opinion, he's on pace for a 312, I'm not making a misstatement, a 312 electoral college vote landslide, which I think he may even win the popular vote, because CBS has Kamala ahead in the popular vote by 1 point, and you can add 3 to 5 points for Trump. I think he's leading nationally. I think he's leading by a lot, and that should give him the win. It just should, whether they cheat or not. So pray to the Lord Almighty that the cheating gets revealed if there's any going on, which I'm pretty sure we understand there is, because there always is. And so anyway, that would give Trump a win without having to win one single Rust Belt state if he won Virginia. Now here's another thing. You knew this was going to happen, okay? Because Democrats can't help themselves. They always have to try to cheat. And we know they use lawfare, right? Well, it seems somebody in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, of course, that's the hub of election cheating. That's the hub of being controlled by Democrats who love to use lawfare. So you already know what's coming, I'm sure, if you haven't heard already. It just happened today as soon as the courts opened. But a group has filed a lawsuit against Elon Musk for buying voter registrations. Because the lawsuit states that he created a lottery, which is illegal in Pennsylvania. So they're saying he created a lottery, which is basically admitting on its face that what he's doing is not illegal. But they are going to try to outsource a different crime like they did with Trump in New York. They're going to try to outsource that and up the crime to something else, not having anything to do with what he was actually doing. So they're saying, and to be clear, that what is illegal is him setting up that racket of compensating people for signatures, because it's not illegal to petition for signatures and compensate people for it. He is giving away $1 million a day up until the election to lucky people that signed the petition. So out of every day, everybody that signs the petition, they get registered to vote, because that's Pennsylvania law. That petition signers get registered to vote. And I gotta get a shot of this. This is when you know people don't pay attention to the law, when they make their own signs. That's a good sign. People make their own signs because people speed all the time. Speed limit here is 30 miles an hour. It's posted up ahead here, but people drive much faster than that. So there's the thing with that. So anyway, back to the Elon Musk thing. This is a frivolous lawsuit. They're going to try to say that his giving away money turns it into it's a lottery. So, because not everybody gets the same prize. So that's how they're attacking him on that. Of course, it's a bunch of BS. Now they're looking for an emergency injunction to force him to stop doing that before the election. We've only got 8 days left. So this is another thing that tells me that they know they're losing, because they're trying to rush this through as a desperate Hail Mary. And you know, you can see it. You can see what's happening right now. The Democrats are in the biggest trouble they've been in many years. And they did it to themselves. If they would have just, you know, looked at the public and say, let's have a conversation about this, that'd be different. But they don't do that. They have the media lie for them, and they tell lies, and they prosecute people, they fire people, they get you canceled, blacklisted, thrown out of work, you can't get work. All they've done is they've pissed people off. And now it's coming back on them. This is America, after all. This isn't some other country where you can get away with that. And these people doing it, quite honestly, do not believe in any kind of real democracy. They want their way, and your way, if it disagrees, is against the rules, and you're an evil person. You're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a this phobe and a that phobe. So that's just what they're doing. I don't know what to any other way to say it, really. And well, they have some serious problems. Their losing this year is not our problem. It's their problem. So, and make no mistake, they are losing. How do we know that? They're already picking up on the violence. I don't know if you've been following this story. It just broke last night. But I don't think the mainstream media talks too much about it. But it seems Antifa are up to their tricks in Washington State, of course. It's a county that's near the Vancouver, Canada border. It is a battleground county in Washington. Now, I had told you that during the balloting that they seem to be ignoring, because it's a state, Washington, that is safely Democrat. Harris is going to win Washington easily, but not as easily as before. They have lost ground there. And that was one of the states I was trying to use as a measuring stick, that Kamala is down in all of these states that are solid blue, all of them. New York, she's down in California. Still going to win those easy. Point being, they have lost ground, a lot of ground. Some of the leads were cut in half, from 17 points to like 8 or 9 points. So that's still a very solid, easy win. But the point is, there's an atmosphere where Democrats are panicking, and they should. I think their reign is about to come to an end, and they don't like it, but that's what's going to happen, folks. So anyway, why am I talking about this? Well, it seems Antifa has been active in Washington State, and they're burning ballots. Those ballot drop-off boxes that Republicans are trying to get rid of, they're setting them on fire, destroying the ballots. I saw a video clip. It was pouring rain. It's Washington, rains every day pretty much. And firefighters broke the door open on the ballot box, pulled all the ballots out, and they're all just charred embers. They're all burned up. So they're setting fire to the ballot boxes. The FBI says it's investigating. Hold your laugh, okay? We know they're only going to investigate people wearing red MAGA hats, but they said they're investigating. It is a felony to destroy ballots, and I think each one destroyed may be a charge. And also, besides that, it's also a pretty serious crime for arson, and that is arson. So it's also a domestic terrorist act that the DOJ just made a big fuss about. Big fuss. The FBI too. We are going to prosecute domestic terrorists. Make no mistake. Any shenanigans go on in this election, there will be serious repercussions. They're not going to do anything with these guys. They're not going to do anything. They'll only do anything if it's Republicans doing it. And yes, we have a two-tiered justice system. You could say we don't, but I don't care. Shove it up your ass. We know there is. We see it. You know, you can't tell us we're not seeing what we see. It's not conspiracy. It's not from some far-right website making it up. I just told you, we just saw it. I'm telling you, they're not going to do anything. They're going to say they're investigating, can't comment on it. There's an ongoing investigation. We can't talk about it. There's an ongoing and nothing's ever going to come of it. So the only time anything would be done is if they were wearing red MAGA hats. Then the news media would have January 6th in the news all through the election. So we just know that. I don't even have to explain it. So that being said, they're doing that. Now, the county that it's done in Washington, you can look it up if you want. It's Clark County, C-L-A-R-K, Clark County in Washington State. It leans left, okay, but it has a really good chunk of Republicans there in the area where the ballot box was burned. And the media has been talking about Republicans voting early. So they're starting to catch on that Kamala is losing. And they're being proactive by burning ballots as a last resort. And that is what they're doing. And that's why they're doing it. That isn't official. That's my own opinion. I'm not spreading misinformation. But sometimes 2 + 2 = 4. Because you have to remember, it's a solid blue state. There is an election going on in Washington State for Senate and Congress. And they may very well have a new congressman from Washington State as a Republican. So I don't think anybody honestly believes Trump is going to win Washington State. But Kamala's lead has been cut in half there. And Antifa is burning ballots. So obviously they feel threatened. They're not going to burn Democrat ballots. Although I'm sure there were some ballots that were Democrat in that box. But if the majority are Republican and the state's mostly blue, then they can afford a few ballots to destroy the Republican ones, I guess. But the fact is, a ballot box was burned. And they're blaming Antifa. I guess that's according to witnesses. They were all dressed in black and hoods like they always do. And so they're desperate. Very desperate. And I also saw a Democrat on video yesterday absolutely chastising Kamala for using this rhetoric with Trump about Hitler and fascism. And, you know, he's upset because he knows they're losing. And he knows that she's not talking about policies. She's just attacking Trump as some last desperate attempt. So everything their campaign has done is wrong, right down to recruiting the Cheneys, like they thought that would help. No Republicans like the Cheneys. You know, Trump has a 90% popularity in most states within the Republican Party. Worst case scenario, it's around 70-75%. But if you're just going to come out and bash Trump, how many of those Republican voters are you going to get? The same ones that weren't going to vote for him to begin with? They're not going to vote for Kamala. I know there's a handful they find to put on videos saying they voted for Kamala because Trump's a threat to democracy. First time I ever vote for a Democrat, he says. Of course you're going to find those people. But they're losing, okay? Now they're starting to show it. They tried their John Kelly Hitler comments for this weekend and it didn't work. And they're going to try something else next weekend. They got one news cycle left. One. And I talked about it yesterday, but I fully expect some kind of fake AI video of Trump doing something horrible. I don't know what that'll be. But I think at this point, the only thing that would cause Trump to lose would be a video of him raping a minor, a teenage girl, with Epstein or something. I talked about that yesterday. Of course, they would have to manufacture that and it would be fake, but would they be able to figure that out before the election? And how much would the media just try to make it true until proven otherwise? Because they do that with everything else. So I'm worried about something like that. So now, really telling, and this is what I want you to watch this week. Really watch this close. Do searches for it, look for it, but look for new reports just for this week coming up. Maybe they'll talk about it in the media, maybe you'll get an email article, but keep an eye out for voter turnout by Democrats in this last week. Because I'm telling you, they're running out of time. Republicans are outpacing Democrats in early voting for the first time ever. And I guess what I'm saying is if you take the people that voted early by mail and add it up with the people enthused to vote, traditionally, you know what that means. That means your candidate is not getting the voters out to support you. So a lot of the hardcore Kamala voters who would vote for blue no matter who, they've already voted by mail or they've gone to vote early. And record numbers of Republicans are showing up to vote. So this is all great news, great news. So within about 3, maybe 4 days, we're going to have a clear picture. Basically, we're basically going to know who's probably going to win for sure. Just because of the sheer amount of early voting that is record-setting. If you get about 60% of the country, 60 to 70, to vote early, you'll have a pretty good idea before Election Day. And that's why I was telling you, a couple of election experts have been doing this for decades, said that as it is right now, that Democrats would be hard-pressed to equal the turnout for voting, according to past turnouts that they have on record. So they would have to take it to a new level and really show up to vote early with a lot of enthusiasm, and they're not doing it yet, and we got 8 days left. So after about 3 more days, we can be more confident, okay? And that's important to understand that. Right now, things are looking good. And CBS and ABC are both coming out with a poll. CBS is saying that Trump is surging. ABC News is saying Kamala is surging. They're both wrong anyway. Their numbers are bunk. I looked at them. So CBS is taking the approach where they want to keep it close to try to motivate their voters to go vote because they're not going, okay? That's what you need to keep in mind about that. These polls that these big companies we don't trust anymore, ABC is Ipsos, and CBS does their own polling. They've all had fake polling. Biden dropped out, Kamala got the nomination, and Everybody gave Kamala fake numbers, inflated her into something special, hoping for an Obama 2.0, which never happened. And so that's what we have going on right now. It's not looking good for them, folks. It's not. And I'm very happy about that. But I can tell you, we're pretty much going to know for sure right around Halloween. And the reason why I say be careful with that is in 2020, I went to go see Trump in New Hampshire, in Manchester, Trump rally. It was October 28th, a couple days, 3 days before Halloween. It was 4 years ago today, and it was about a week before the election, and everything just felt like Trump was going to win. It just looked like Trump was going to win. And Trump has even better numbers now than he did in 2020, and I believe he won in 2020. We're not going to get into that argument again because of the YouTube algorithm. But that's just my opinion, okay? So I'm not spreading misinformation, it's just an opinion I have. So anyway, he's doing the best he's ever done. Ever. Now he's talking about doing another rally in New Hampshire, and he's already scheduled one in Virginia. He's going to do a rally in Virginia. So that tells you they think something's in play. I'm telling you right now, if he's getting close enough to feel like they have a shot at New Hampshire and Virginia, and I also heard he was going to do a rally in New Mexico. New Mexico, that's been Democrat for a long time, but it's within reach by like 5 points. So I think Trump's really going for it. This will be his last stand, his last hurrah. And because let's face it, folks, if he loses this election, he's going to jail. He's not going to go to jail, but he'll lose his freedom. He'll be relegated to be kept in one spot with an ankle bracelet for the national security. But from everything I've seen, we have these giant automotive plants in Mexico being built by China for electric cars that they think they're going to flood the American market with after Trump loses. They've halted construction on those. And because they know if Trump wins, it's not going to happen. So I think Trump has defied all the odds. He's fought his way back, and it's within grasp. And we need to help him make sure he gets there. And it looks like people are trying to get him there. Thank the Lord. So anyway, say a prayer for Donald Trump. Say a prayer that the cheating gets revealed. Very important. And also that Ted Cruz wins in Texas. And that any cheating there gets revealed. Excuse me. And so we got some stuff going on. We do. And it's very interesting. I think this is going to be interesting. I really do. New numbers are looking like Republicans are going to do well with Congress too. They might end up keeping the majority. And all I know from personal experience through my lifetime, as well as older people, typically when voters give Congress to one party, it means the other party is winning the White House. I don't think that's the case this time. I think the country's so bad right now, people are so desperate for help, they are going to give Republicans carte blanche. They're going to give them Congress, the Senate, and Trump. And that has happened in our past before when times were tough. Just look at Ronald Reagan, Jimmy Carter, had a terrible economy. We had gas crises. We had all kinds of problems. Very bad problems we had. And I remember them when I was a kid. We were broke. And so it's, I think the people are going to take America back. That's what I think. And I think we're going to see an economic boon this country has not seen in decades. And what really kills me is the year I was born. The year I was born, Detroit was the richest city in the world. It was the automotive capital of the planet. It was super wealthy. It had the most money. And everybody had a job, a good paying one. People worked at GM, Ford, places like that their entire life. They bought their own home, they retired in it, and they died in it. And almost all of them had purchased a car from where they worked. And unfortunately, Democrats gained power and ruined everything. And that's the truth. You know, a big nail in the coffin was NAFTA. And, you know, people were warned. They were warned. Ross Perot, the independent, who got the most votes, more than any independent ever. He got 21% of the votes. Unfortunately, he siphoned them off the Republicans, and Bill Clinton got elected. But there was one famous quote he made in a debate. He said that giant sucking sound you hear is our jobs going to Mexico because of NAFTA. And he was right. Absolutely 100% right. And it's still going on today, as evidenced by those two automotive plants about to finish off our automotive industry in America. Our automotive industry in this country is about to disappear forever under Democrat rule, just like the automotive industry in the UK disappeared under Liberal rule. All of those great British automotive manufacturers went bankrupt, sold off. They're still made under the name they had, but in different countries. One of them's even being made in Russia. You know, they bought a great British motor car company, and they're making cars in Russia with the badge on it. Horrible. Don't want to see that happen here. I don't want to see a Chinese-made Corvette, okay? Or one made in Mexico. I don't want to see it. Just don't. So, vote for Trump. It's the best thing you can do in this election. Firmly believe that. No, Trump's not perfect, but he is perfect for this moment in time. Let's just put it that way. So, he's going to need Congress and a Senate. You need to give it to him. You need to give it to him, because that'll help all of us. It's not going to do any good at all if Trump wins and he doesn't have Congress or the Senate. In fact, he'll be impeached. He'll be removed from office. That's just what'll happen. So that's why I'm going to go back to July 13th, the assassination attempt on Trump, and him getting off that stage with his face covered in blood, saying fight, fight, fight. That is going to be the most historic, iconic photograph in our history. And I'm telling you, people do not have that happen to them only to lose the election. So, everybody knows now there was an assassination attempt. They tried to deny it, despite getting shot in the ear and bleeding down his face. Like, that wasn't evidence enough. So everybody knows it now. And so everybody knows that. And So I think quite possibly Trump might have won the election on that assassination attempt. I was thinking about that. I'm thinking about that because, you know, we had Biden step down after that debate. And the polls were kind of wonky at the time, according to the people that do polls. Then we had the assassination attempt. We had the DNC choose Kamala, all in the same basic short window. So it was really difficult to tell what was changing the polls or what wasn't. But one thing that's been constant is it turns out none of those things affected the polls. And Trump is going up towards the end because people are learning more about Kamala because she's actually coming out and talking now. And people don't know, they don't know what to make of her. Well, we know she comes across as disingenuous, fake, and phony because she is. So they're losing support the closer the election gets, which is good. So I don't anticipate her gaining between now and the election. So if anything, it's going to change. Trump's going to gain support. So the reason why I mentioned that with July 13th and the assassination attempt is when that assassination attempt happened, maybe that convinced a lot of people Trump was the guy to vote for. And because realistically, I don't think Trump's numbers have changed much since then. I think the polling has changed. And I say that because they were trying to fluff her numbers to make her look good. And now I think they're coming down more towards reality, and they're still not being honest about it. Because they're trying to keep it close. Because if it's a blowout, the Democrats aren't going to go up. They're not going to show up and vote if Trump has already won it. So you're not going to see any single poll that says Trump is blowing the doors off Kamala. You're just not going to see it. Now, what am I seeing among the 4 pollsters that I do trust? Is that his numbers are better than the other polling. And they're not being biased. Atlas Intel is Nate Silver, who is somebody that hates Trump, I've explained this before, has said that that poll in particular has been the most accurate he has seen since 2016. And Atlas Intel has Trump ahead in the national popular vote by 3 points. They've got Trump ahead comfortably in all the battleground states by 3 points. And if that's the most accurate one, then, you know, Atlas Intel had gotten Trump's support wrong only by about 2 or 3 points, while everybody else did about 5. So they've been more accurate. And they say Trump's winning this. So Nate Silver has said that he thinks Trump is going to win this election after saying he wasn't going to just a while ago. But he's looking at the numbers like everybody else is, and it's becoming pretty obvious at this point that this election is not like any we've had before. And we got a Trump sign here, which is nice. Very nice. So we just hit 4 miles. I'm going to head over this way. Right. So we're going to head over this way. We're going to hang a left. We just hit the 4 mile mark. And so I guess the bottom line I'm getting to is that Trump is doing much better than the media is saying he is, of course, because that's what they do. That's just what they do. Now I've been noticing a lot of CNN anchors getting short, getting cross with their guests, showing their tempers more. So they're starting to know too. Jake Tapper absolutely was irate the other day with Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican Speaker. And he was also getting very angry with J.D. Vance, because J.D. Vance was telling him to his face that he's been lying to the public for years now, and basically, without saying it, saying you're about to have your own ass handed to you because Trump's going to win this. I'm not seeing the same confidence from the left, I guess is my point. And this is, I'm really starting to enjoy this, folks. Again, don't get too high. I got about 3 more days before I'll be more confident. But I'm pretty sure the way things look right now, that's coming. So we'll hang on. Yeehaw, right? Boy howdy. I'm gonna flip the camera around. I just want to give my hands, I'm giving my hands a rest right now is what I'm doing. Plus I'm probably gonna have to change the battery soon. So this is a little Trump neighborhood here. Yeah, so that's why I was saying on my walk yesterday, we got to start looking forward to what they're going to do after Trump wins. Because nobody sore loses like the Democrats. Hopefully there won't be much they can do, because I'm hoping the Republicans keep Congress. If Republicans keep Congress and they win the Senate, Trump's not going to have any issues for at least 2 years. Things Trump has to do after he wins is he's got a lot of stuff he's going to have to do in the first week, and he'll do it too. And one of the things, he's going to have to pick a Department of Justice head, fire the idiot that's there, and Merrick Garland has been a huge disappointment and a leftist joke. And not only should he be removed, he should be prosecuted for what he's done by coordinating with the district attorneys in New York, which he did. And he's going to say, well, I can't control some lower blah blah. Yeah, well, you're the head friggin' honcho, okay? So proverbial heads have to roll here, or else it'll never be stopped. I know somebody, and they were 100% correct. They said because he never prosecuted Hillary when he could have, that nobody ever goes to jail, and until they do, this will never stop. That's sad but true. Now over here we got another Trump sign, a new one. Very nice. That's a brand spank me new one. That wasn't there before. You're being recorded too. Security camera told me I'm being recorded. So we got all kinds of Trump signs up ahead here. Trump flags, banners. So I voted for Trump already. I've already got my vote in the bank. So I'm going to walk up this way. I got to cross back over here. Still got some leaves on some trees here. Oh, this tree here survived the windstorm we had. Maybe it's in a little pocket here where the wind didn't get to it. Maybe. Got a good shot of that. See this sign here? Got a good sign here. See this? It says vote Republican, you can't afford not to. Vote Republican, you can't afford not to. So we got some GOP support in this neighborhood. And we got the Harris idiots up ahead. We've seen them on past walks. The morons. It's a nice lady that lives here. I've seen her a couple times. Four and a half miles we just hit. So, tomorrow's Tuesday, and we will be 1 week away from Election Day. One week. Liberation Day is coming. Let freedom ring. All right, cut across here. And meander my way back home. Trump rally tonight at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock Eastern time. Not too long from now. I will be watching that. I'll be praying for his safety. Boy, I'm never going to forget that moment of fear and dread when that shot in Butler, Pennsylvania nicked his ear and he went right down on the stage. I thought for sure. I knew from watching the video when it happened, because I was watching, that he had not had he had not been hit in the head with a direct shot. I was more concerned about the subsequent shots after that hitting him. But we saw a Secret Service come out and cover him up. And the rest is history. He was fine. So, definitely going to worry about that until the election. All right. Well, I got more battery left than I thought I would at this point. Really surprised because I set my front screen to stay on all the time so I could see it while I'm walking. I just feel more comfortable doing that. And I got 2 batteries that last long enough anyway, so. Look at this. Got some Trump signs here. See that right there? Trump. All right. Now we're going to be walking through that part where they were paving again. Which is good because I'm not going to have to watch for traffic today. I can walk through there safely. That makes it much easier for me. And the walk's almost done anyway. We'll be coming up on 5 miles up ahead. And not too long after that, and we will be done. Hi, how you doing? So, we'll walk on here. Got another Trump sign up ahead. The Trumpers are trumping. Trumpers are trumping. Well, looks like these people driving through here must live around here. Got all these workers here working away. So if you haven't voted yet, please consider voting, because if we have an election day terrorist attack, voting is going to be shut down. And if you want to make sure your vote counts, make sure you vote. No joke. So, make your vote count by getting it counted. And I got to tell you, I really like what Laura Trump has done for the Republican Party with regard to this election. We're really pushing early voting and also pushing Republicans to take seriously voter integrity, election integrity. Really important. People need to have confidence in the elections again, for everybody, all sides. It needs to be done in a way where the media can't say, well, Republicans changed this because they want to cheat. People need to stop doing this. It just needs to stop. I'm hoping if Trump wins in a landslide, they'll get the fucking message. All right, everybody. There we go. We're passing the chicken coop. If you're familiar with my walks, you got chickens down there in that coop. I caused a stir one day because I meandered down there to try to record some chickens, and apparently I upset the chicken owners. She got upset with me, so anyway, all right, now we're walking on. We'll be winding down the walk soon, and I'm glad this road's closed today, except it's closed to local traffic. Wow, they really put a lot of tar here. I'm looking at the level of asphalt they put. It's very thick. So I'm wondering if they're going to put curbs or if they're going to put more pavement down here. Guess we'll have to wait and find out. We'll walk on down here. Watch where I'm walking. I gotta pay attention to where I'm walking. Well, this is nice. This is gonna be much better to walk on here. So anyway, the walk is gonna be winding down. I want to thank you for walking with me today. Click like and subscribe, share the content, and make sure you vote. Go vote. Take somebody with you. Vote twice. You go vote and bring somebody with you. So thank you very much for walking with me today. And we will see you on the next walk, friends. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And enjoy the week. Have a good Halloween, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.